Hello and welcome.
Hi.
All right, we're just giving everybody a couple of minutes. Thank you all for joining the first initial Happy Lawyer monthly webinar. We're going to be doing these the last Wednesday of every month. Hopefully it'll be entertaining topics. If you have any topic ideas, always drop me a line. And here we'll give a couple more minutes and then I'll start. We have a couple more people that were planning on joining us.
Yeah, I just sent it to my ex in case she wants to join.
Okay.
So if you see Linda Brendaras, that'll be her.
Okay. I'm not going to exclude anybody unless, because I can always kick them out if they start doing something bad.
Like insulting me.
Yeah, so we're, yeah, down here. Okay. Let me go ahead and I'll at least share my screen to make sure you are seeing what you should be seeing. Come on. Oh, share. Oh. Can everybody see the ice cream cone?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. Hi, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kristen Mackintosh, the Happy Lawyer at Schweizer Associates, and welcome to the Happy Lawyer's first monthly webinar. This one is going to be about healthcare power of attorneys and why you need them, as well as what they are. If you have any questions about my presentation, you can put them in the chat at the bottom of the screen, or I will have an opportunity at the end of this presentation for you to ask questions. Or you can raise your hand during my presentation if you want to do that. There's little reactions at the bottom. So, a little bit about me. As you can see, I am known as the Happy Lawyer, and yes, I am smiling just like I am in that picture because I'm very passionate about what I do, and I love working with clients, helping them craft unique estate plans so that they and their loved ones are protected. Schweizer Associates is a law firm located here in Garner, North Carolina. And I do, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, it's probably one of the reasons why I'm happy. I do offer my clients home baked goods. So that's a little bit about me. So now and yes, I'm doing a plug. I live with my dog, Bailey. You can see him. He likes to make presentations, but today on our agenda, we are going to be covering, oops, looks like somebody. We're going to be covering okay, got somebody coming in, just a minute. We are going to be covering who needs a healthcare power of attorney, what is a healthcare power of attorney, who is that healthcare power of attorney agent, why you need a healthcare power of attorney, and why your child, if they are over the age of 18, needs a healthcare power of attorney. And that would include anybody in this audience who is over the age of 18 as well. So let's talk about who needs a healthcare power of attorney. Well, obviously, if you're a parent, whether you already have children or you are expecting a child, you should have a healthcare power of attorney to take care of your healthcare needs should you become incapacitated, because your children are going to want you to be around for a very long time. If you're a senior citizen, definitely need a healthcare power of attorney. You know, everybody automatically jumps to senior citizens' healthcare power of attorneys because unfortunately, as we age, we sometimes will develop, Alzheimer's or dementia or other health problems. So as a senior citizen, it's very important that you have a healthcare power of attorney. Also, if you are married, whether you're a newlywed or you've been married forever, your spouse should probably be made your healthcare power of attorney agent to make medical decisions on your behalf, and we'll get into the importance of why that's the case. Essentially, though, anyone over the age of 18 needs to have a healthcare power of attorney. That would include, college students, whether your child's going off to the military, or even if your child is still in high school and has turned 18, a healthcare power of attorney needs to be put in place for that child. So, who needs a healthcare power of attorney? Everybody needs a healthcare power of attorney. Oprah even says everybody needs a healthcare power of attorney. So, if Oprah says it, you know it's true. But wait, some of you are out there going, okay, you're telling me I need a healthcare power of attorney, but what is this healthcare power of attorney thing anyway? Well, a healthcare power of attorney is a legal document. It has to be witnessed by two individuals who cannot be related to you, and they cannot be workers in a medical facility. So no doctors can witness it, your nurses can't witness it. You generally need to have two unrelated people. Normally, if you're doing it through an attorney's office, the attorney will provide two witnesses. In our office, we have another attorney and a paralegal who often serve as the witnesses for these documents. The document also has to be notarized by a notary public. This is a person who verifies that the person signing the document is actually the real person. So nobody will come in here and forge a healthcare power of attorney on your behalf. So now we've established the legalities of the healthcare power of attorney. That's kind of the boring part. Now, so what is this healthcare power of attorney? It is a document where you state that should you become incapacitated, you want somebody else, a person of your choosing, to make healthcare decisions for you. Now, that person will make those decisions only when your treating physician makes the determination that you cannot communicate with him or her. So as long as you're able to have a dialogue with your doctor, you're not unconscious, for instance, or, worst case scenario, you haven't developed Alzheimer's. As long as the doctor feels that you can understand him or her and you can make your medical decisions, you will continue making those medical decisions, even though you have a healthcare power of attorney in place. Now, even if a healthcare power of attorney does have to be activated, because let's say you're unconscious or you're in surgery, once you resume consciousness or you come out of that surgery and the doctor feels that you can make those medical decisions on your behalf, then the medical power of attorney ceases to exist and you will resume making those decisions. A lot of people fear that when they sign these documents, that means they are giving their agent full access to their healthcare decisions for the rest of their lives, and that's not the case. Again, it only goes into effect when your medical doctor determines that you cannot understand what he or she is saying. Now, this document also, you state in the document what types of procedures that you would like the healthcare agent to make on your behalf. I always tell my clients, you need to keep in mind that this is a very broad document because your agent is going to be making all the decisions that you could make regarding your physical and your mental health. A lot of people forget about the mental health aspect of it. So within the document, there is a section where you can limit your healthcare power of attorney agents, your agent's authority to make certain decisions. If there's things that you don't want them to be able to make, you can state that in the document. The document also covers end-of-life decisions. There are situations where you get to state in writing whether or not you want life-saving measures to be taken on your behalf. For instance, if your heart stops beating, you have a heart attack, and your heart stops beating, do you want to be resuscitated? Okay, and Whoops, and sorry, went ahead on my slide a little bit. It happens. These are just some examples of when a healthcare power of attorney might go into effect. You can see, an accident. This is why the seminar is called Life Happens, because we've all made plans for things that don't always go the way we expect. I use the example for my clients that, every time I get into a car and drive to or from the office, I'm taking the risk that I could be in an automobile accident. Obviously, don't want to be in an accident, but it could happen. By having a healthcare power of attorney in place, then I know I'm taken care of. The same as if you are involved in a surgery. If something happens during that surgery and the doctors don't know what you would like to have done, provided, if they have time, they can rush out to your agent and ask them, like, look, this is what's developed in the surgery. When we opened up the patient, we discovered that they may need an additional type of surgery. So, do we have your permission to proceed with that procedure? And then your agent would be able to give the yes or no answer. And then we talked about, when you become older, if heaven forbid you, develop Alzheimer's or dementia, then your healthcare agent can help you make those decisions on your behalf. Or, for instance, let's say somebody has a stroke and has lost their ability to speak, then your agent would be able to make those decisions and speak on behalf of you as to what you might like to have done. So we've covered what a healthcare power of attorney is, but who's this mysterious healthcare agent? No, it's not the top secret agent, the spy that we think of when we hear the word agent. Instead, a healthcare agent, power of attorney agent, is someone that you choose who will make those medical decisions on your behalf. I suppose if you want to appoint a spy, you could, but probably you're going to appoint a trusted loved one. The key emphasis here is the word trusted, because again, as we've talked about, this is a very broad power. So you want to make sure that the person that you're appointing as your agent is going to carry out the decisions that you would want to have made had you been able to make those decisions. Again, that person is only enabled to act on your behalf when you're unable to either speak or communicate effectively with your doctor. So they're going to act when you're unable to make those medical decisions on your behalf, when you're unable to talk to your doctors. They will have the ability to review your medical records. They will have the ability to authorize treatment, to get you transported from one facility to another. And, worst case, they have the ability to make end-of-life decisions. So now we've covered what a healthcare power of attorney is, who the healthcare agent is, and now we're going to cover why do I need a healthcare power of attorney. I get asked that by a lot of people. They're like, you know what? I'm young, I'm healthy. Why do I need a healthcare power of attorney? That's something for old people. I'll revisit it when I become elderly. Well, not necessarily a good decision, because life happens. How many times have you planned a trip to the beach? You're all excited, and then you get to your beach vacation and it rains. Well, that's an example of life happening. Things happen that we can't control. No one ever plans to be in an accident or have an unexpected illness. We all hope that we're going to live a long, healthy life and we're going to die peacefully in our sleep. And hopefully we'll be able to do that. But unfortunately, life has a funny way of happening. Sometimes it's not for the good, but a lot of times it's for the bad. And even though we know logically that we should have a healthcare power of attorney in place, a recent statistic that I found stated that only 18% of Americans have a healthcare power of attorney, also known as an advanced healthcare directive, as well as a durable power of attorney. And that's another document that deals with finances. But let that sink in for a minute. Only 18%. So that's part of this seminar, is to educate why we want to up that 18% number to a much higher number. Because again, life happens. So if you don't have a healthcare power of attorney in place, let's talk about the bad things that can happen. First, you can have family conflict. Families will get into arguments as to, no, my loved one would want this treatment. No, my loved one would want this treatment. I think we can all remember the Terry Chavo case. And for those of you who don't remember that case, Terry Chavo ended up in a vegetative coma state, and there was a legal battle that existed for 15 years between her parents and her husband at the time. Her husband thought that her wish was to be discontinued from life-saving measures, and her parents believed the other way. So they spent 15 long years in and out of court arguing, because the court would make a decision in favor of the husband, and then the parents would appeal, and then the court would make a decision in favor of the parents. And like I said, this went back and forth for 15 years, causing a lot of emotional anguish on behalf of the families. The only people that made out in that situation were the lawyers, and you don't want to end up having to pay lawyers lots of money, to engage in those type of legal battles. Not to mention, you may end up, creating fiasco and emotional conflict amongst your family members that may never be mended. You also may not receive the medical care that you would want to have taken on your behalf if you don't have a medical power of attorney in place, because instead of having someone that you've designated to make those decisions, who you've told what matters that you would want done for you, you're going to be at the mercy of a medical doctor or a medical nurse who, yes, are going to make appropriate medical decisions, but those medical decisions may not be ones that you yourself would have wanted. For instance, we'll never know if Terry Chavo wanted to have spent 15 years in a vegetative coma. But since she didn't have a healthcare power of attorney, that's what ended up happening. You also will have, most likely, your loved ones will have to open what's called a guardianship, because if you don't have them appointed as an agent, most medical professionals will not let them make decisions. And a guardianship is a legal proceeding that can take some time. You have to go to court, pay court filing fees. You may have to hire an attorney to get you appointed to be the guardian of the person. Now, keep in mind, once you apply to be the guardian, anybody else can apply to be the guardian, and the court may not feel that you, as the parent or the spouse or the child, is the appropriate guardian, and they may appoint a stranger or somebody else in the family who would not have been a person that you, the person laying in the hospital or needing the medical care, would have appointed had you been given the opportunity. So hopefully that covers why you need to have a healthcare power of attorney. Now, a lot of parents have asked me, look, does my child, once they turn 18, do they really need a healthcare power of attorney? Well, yes, they do. And this is why. I often get asked by parents, they're like, I don't understand why my 18-year-old needs a healthcare power of attorney. And I explained to them, well, under the law, whether or not you think they are an adult and have the capacity to make adult decisions, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on the way you look at it, once your child turns 18, he or she is considered to be an adult. Now, parents have asked me, but I pay my child's medical bills. Of course, the doctors are going to come to me and they're going to allow me to make medical decisions. Well, Unfortunately, if your child has not executed a healthcare power of attorney, most medical professionals are not going to care that who's paying the medical bills. All they're going to care about is who has the legal right to make medical decisions on their patient's behalf. Now, I also get well, my child lives with me. My child's still in high school, or my child's going to school or working, but right now they're living with me. I'm paying all their expenses. So of course I can make medical decisions on their behalf because they're a dependent of mine. Again, unfortunately, without that healthcare power of attorney document, most medical professionals are not going to allow you to make those decisions on behalf of your child. They don't care if the child's living with you or not. And along with that, they have the right, the medical professionals have the right to refuse to release medical information about your child. Now imagine that. You get a call from someone, from a friend who says, hey, your child was involved in an accident and they've been taken to Wake Memorial Hospital. So you call the hospital and the hospital said, well, we can tell you there's a patient by that name here, but we can't release any information. And then you're sitting there going, but I'm the parent. I need to know what's the status of my child, what's going on. And they usually will respond, do you have a healthcare power of attorney appointing you as your child's agent? And if you say no, then most likely they're going to tell you that they will not be able to release any information. Now, I don't know about you, but I can't imagine anything more horrifying than to have my child or my spouse or a parent in the hospital and I can't find out any information about their condition because unfortunately they did not execute a healthcare power of attorney appointing me as their agent. Luckily, my loved ones have appointed me as their agent, so I can avoid that, but not everybody has that healthcare power of attorney. So not only can you not look at the medical records without having that healthcare power of attorney document appointing you as the agent, you're not going to be able to make medical decisions for your child. Again, you're going to leave that decision up to the medical professionals, and the decisions that they make may or may not be decisions that you would want to have made and that you know your child would not want to have made had they been able to express their feelings. So essentially what I'm trying to get across is don't gamble with your healthcare. And people are like, I don't understand what that means. And I'm like, well, if you don't have that document in place, that's what you're doing. Because again, life happens. None of us plan on, getting involved in an accident or, falling ill. And especially with the COVID crisis, I don't want to really dwell on it too much, but that's been an eye-opening experience where now we have a virus that none of us ever expected we would encounter in our lifetimes that we could develop. So all the more reason you should have that healthcare power of attorney in place so that you will have those decisions that you want made will be made by your agent. Sorry, that was kind of a poor choice of words there. Essentially, what you're doing is you're preparing for the unexpected. Now, we lawyers, we are trained to always look at the worst case scenarios. But again, just because we do that doesn't mean that you also shouldn't look for the worst case scenarios when it comes to your health or the health of your loved ones. And in addition to preparing for the unexpected, you want to be able to control your health care. You want your agent to be able to make the decisions that, again, you would want to make had you been able to do so. So this is why it's very important that anyone over the age of 18 has a healthcare power of attorney in place. So thank you all for listening to my presentation today. If anybody has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself or you can type them in the chat. I'm here. You can contact me at kmackintosh@nclegalcounsel.com, or you can contact me at my direct dial at 919-535-9131. Again, we are going to be doing these series every month. Next month's series is going to be in honor of Halloween, Tales from the Crypt, how to avoid estate planning nightmares. And I'll have more information on that. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, hopefully, on here to pop back in. So hopefully that gave you an overall view as to why you need a healthcare power of attorney, what a healthcare power of attorney is, what your agent does, and the importance of having one in place when your child or you turn 18. So thank you all so much for participating in this presentation, and I look forward to hopefully seeing y'all next month.
I do have a
Take
question.
care.
I do have one quick question.
Oh, yes, Joe.
Will this presentation be available for me to share with other people?
Yes, it will. I have been recording it, and I will be uploading it, and I can send you the link.
Thank you. I'll send it out. I'll be sharing it with several people.
Fabulous. I
That was
appreciate
really important
that.
information.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Take care, everybody. Have a great afternoon.
Bye.
Thank you.